While the rest of the world is still lost in dreams, a vibrant energy begins to stir in the east. The clock strikes 5 a.m. and the silence of the night is broken by the rhythmic hum of millions. Welcome to Vietnam, a land where time doesn't just pass, it flows differently. It is a place where ancient contradictions haven't just survived. They've been transformed into something magical. As the night markets dissolve like morning mist, they leave behind a new landscape. Open-air cafes where the rich, dark aroma of roasting beans mingles with the first warm rays of sunlight. And speaking of coffee, few realize that these emerald highlands hold a global secret. Vietnam is the world's second largest coffee producer, trailing only Brazil. Every dark drop that falls from a traditional metal fin filter is a fusion of East and West. A story of colonial history reclaimed and perfected into a national tradition. From above, the country reveals itself as a breathtaking mosaic of green and gold. Its rice paddies stretch toward the horizon, yielding an incredible 45 million tons of grain annually. In the north, these fields defy gravity, climbing steep mountains in dizzying terraces. In the south, within the Mekong Delta, land and water unite in an endless embrace, creating landscapes that look like they were brushed onto the earth by a divine artist. But Vietnam is a land defined by duality. While the north experiences 4 distinct seasons, even seeing snow on its highest peaks, the south knows only 2, the wet and the dry. This climatic divide has shaped more than just the trees. It has dictated the very architecture of the people. From the airy stilt houses of the Delta to the sturdy, thick-walled stone dwellings of the northern highlands. In this country, every word is a melody. The language is built on 6 distinct tones. A single sound, shifted only by a breath of intonation, can take on entirely different lives. That is how the word ma can mean mother in one breath and ghost in the next. Every conversation here is a musical composition where the right pitch is the only key to being understood. Moreover, a deep cultural diversity pulses at the heart of this nation through 54 distinct ethnic groups. From the misty, clouded peaks of the far north to the sun-drenched coastal plains, each community jealously guards its own heritage of language, costume, and custom. This history is told daily through the local markets. In Hanoi, the ancient stalls of Dong Xuan wind through alleys over a century old. In Hoi An, the dawn fish market enchants with the silver flash of the morning catch. And in Sapa, the mountain markets overflow with the vibrant hand-woven textiles of the Hmong people. During these early hours, the streets become a living kaleidoscope of color, fragrance, and voice. Deep within the quiet of the home, another tradition lives on. Every Vietnamese house holds a prayer altar. As incense rises toward the portraits of ancestors, bowls of fresh fruit and steaming rice are offered in silence. Here, 3 generations often kneel together, whispering the prayers that keep the dialogue between the past and the present alive. In this blend of spirit and stone, the cuisine emerges as a perfect harmony of 5 flavors. Like a master artist, every Vietnamese cook balances the spicy, the sour, the salty, the bitter, and the sweet. From a bowl of steaming pho to the crunch of a banh mi, every bite is a journey through 1,000 years of culinary evolution. This is Vietnam. Not just a destination on a map, but a journey through time, the senses, and the soul. Let us now visit its most beautiful and iconic places. In the ethereal light of dawn, Ha Long Bay reveals its status as the crown jewel of Vietnam's natural heritage. Spread across the Gulf of Tonkin, this UNESCO World Heritage Site is a labyrinth of nearly 2,000 limestone karsts and isles, rising defiantly from emerald waters that have remained calm for millennia. The jagged, moss-covered textures of the cliffs contrast sharply against the glassy reflection of the sea, creating a visual depth that feels almost otherworldly. According to local legend, these islands were created by a great dragon descending from the heavens, spitting jewels and jade into the sea to form a defensive barrier against invaders. Over centuries, these jewels transformed into the towering pillars and islets that define the landscape today. This descending dragon left behind a sanctuary of silence and mist where the elements of earth and water engage in a timeless embrace. The bay is a living museum of geological evolution, carved by the slow, persistent hands of wind and tide. Navigating through the heart of the archipelago reveals hidden lagoons and secret grottos tucked away behind sheer stone walls. Among these, Sung Sat Cave offers a subterranean spectacle. Its vast chambers are filled with massive stalactites and stalagmites that showcase the sheer scale of the Earth's ancient artistry. Outside, the sheer verticality of the peaks creates a natural fortress that has shielded rare ecosystems and unique species for generations. The beauty of Ha Long is not found only in its geology, but in the quiet resilience of its life. Tiny floating fishing villages cling to the base of the towering rocks, where the rhythm of existence is dictated by the pulse of the tides. Here, the vibrant colors of bobbing homes sit in stark contrast to the monumental gray towers surrounding them. As the sun sets, the bay transforms into a palette of deep violets and burning golds. The silhouettes of the karsts become layered shadows stretching into the horizon, leaving a profound sense of peace. It is a place where water, stone, and sky converge in a perfect ancient harmony, a true testament to the timeless spirit of the natural world. Gioc Waterfall. Nestled in the remote northeastern corner of Vietnam, along the winding border with China, Gioc Waterfall stands as one of the most breathtaking natural spectacles in Southeast Asia. Fed by the Hoi An River, the falls are a masterpiece of nature's architecture, cascading down multiple tiers of limestone ledges. The water descends in a thunderous symphony, plunging 30 meters into a wide turquoise pool. What makes Gioc truly unique is its sheer scale and the lush pastoral landscape that frames it. The roaring white foam is perfectly offset by the vibrant greens of the surrounding bamboo groves and the jagged, mist-enveloped peaks of the northern highlands. The experience of the waterfall is deeply sensory. As the water hits the rocks below, it creates a perpetual shroud of fine mist that cools the air and nourishes the verdant vegetation clinging to the cliffs. During the rainy season, the various streams merge into a singular, powerful torrent of white water that commands respect. In the drier months, the falls become more delicate, splitting into many silver ribbons that weave through the rocks like silk threads. Beyond its physical grandeur, Gioc carries a sense of profound tranquility. Local farmers can often be seen tending to water buffalo in the nearby rice paddies, unaffected by the roaring cascade just a few hundred meters away. The sight of traditional bamboo rafts drifting near the base of the falls highlights the harmonious relationship between the local people and this powerful force of nature. It is a place of raw, untamed beauty, a hidden gem that feels like a gateway to an older, more majestic world. High above the tropical humidity of the coast, the earth gives way to an architectural fever dream. Bana Hills is not merely a destination, it is an altitude of the imagination. To arrive here is to ascend through a vertical wilderness, suspended in a glass carriage that glides over ancient forest canopies and silver threads of falling water. As the cable car breaks through the veil of the lower clouds, the modern world vanishes, replaced by a surreal summit where the laws of geography seem to bend and the air grows crisp with the scent of mountain pine. The landscape is anchored by a breathtaking visual paradox, the Golden Bridge. Here, two gargantuan weathered stone hands emerge from the mountainside like the relics of a forgotten titan, cradling a shimmering thread of gold toward the horizon. It is a walk between realms where the mountain mist often swallows the valley below, leaving visitors floating in a white, silent void as if suspended in mid-air. Beyond this celestial path lies a meticulously crafted illusion, a medieval French village carved into the Vietnamese peaks. Cobblestone squares, soaring Gothic spires, and flower-choked balconies sit perpetually in a temperate spring, defiant of the jungle heat pulsing far below. Every street corner offers a new perspective, from the vibrant colors of the Les Jardins d'Amour gardens to the quiet spiritual stillness of the Linh Ung Pagoda. In Bana, the boundaries between the natural and the man-made dissolve into a misty, high-altitude theater, a place where the grandeur of the mountains serves as the stage for a fairy tale written in stone and sky. Da Nang writes a story of dynamic contrasts, positioned perfectly between the majestic marble mountains and the vast South China Sea. It has emerged as a rising star, striking a rare and perfect balance between a stunning coastline and a clean, modern city. Divided by the Han River, it offers all the modern conveniences but is noticeably less crowded than Ho Chi Minh City, making it a favorite for those seeking a healthy lifestyle. The city's investment in being smart and green has led to wide, clean streets and minimal pollution. As the sun sets, Da Nang transforms. The city's bridges become serpents of light, with the spectacular Dragon Bridge breathing real fire on weekend nights. Meanwhile, the Han Bridge illuminates the river with shimmering colors. The city's natural borders are rich with history. The Marble Mountains, 5 peaks emerging from the coastal plain, are riddled with caves that hide temples carved into the rock, where Buddhist monks still pray. These tunnels even served as a refuge during the war. Just north, the San Tra Peninsula preserves 30 square kilometers of primordial rainforest, home to the rare red-shanked Duke langurs. Soaring 67 meters high above the peninsula is the massive Lady Buddha statue of the Ling Ung Pagoda. For those looking to explore, the stunning coastal route of the Hai Van Pass offers dramatic ocean views. Just south of the city, the Golden Bridge at Bana Hills is an altitude of the imagination, where 2 gargantuan stone hands cradle a shimmering thread of gold toward the horizon. The nearby Mai Kei beaches stretch for 30 kilometers, with waves that attract surfers from around the world, waves that also witnessed the arrival of the first American Marines in 1965. This combination of beach, mountain hiking, and low cost of living makes Da Nang an essential destination. Hanoi does not welcome you with silence. It greets you with a roar. It is a city of a million motorbikes, a choreographed chaos that flows through narrow streets like blood through a heartbeat. In the Old Quarter, time is measured in guilds, streets named for the silver, silk, and paper trade they have hosted for 1,000 years. The air is thick with the scent of charred pork from street-side grills and the steam of pho simmering in giant pots on the sidewalk. Every corner is a collision of the senses, the rhythmic clinking of a blacksmith's hammer, the vibrant pile of dragon fruit on a vendor's balanced pole, and the tangled overhead wires that map the city's frantic energy. But look past the frenzy, and you find Hanoi's quiet, ancient grace. It lives in the shadow of the banyan trees at Hoan Kiem Lake, where elders practice Tai Chi in the morning mist, their movements as fluid as the water itself. It is found in the weathered yellow ochre of French colonial villas, their shutters peeling under the weight of a humid, layered history. At the Temple of Literature, the frantic city noise fades behind heavy stone gates, replaced by the stillness of ancient courtyards where scholars once walked among stone turtles. Hanoi is a city that demands you look closer. It is a place where the 11th century and the 21st century sit side by side on a tiny plastic stool, sipping strong condensed milk coffee as the world rushes by. To understand Hanoi is to embrace the paradox of a city that is simultaneously exhausted by its history and energized by its future. It is the sophisticated, stubborn, and deeply beautiful heart of the North, a place where every crumbling brick tells a story of resilience. When the sun dips below the horizon, Hoi An ceases to be a mere town and becomes a living, breathing dream. This ancient port, once a bustling maritime crossroads for merchants from Japan, China, and Europe, has been preserved in a state of golden amber. Its streets are a mesmerizing tapestry of weathered, mustard-yellow walls draped in vibrant bougainvillea that glows under the soft, multicolored hum of silk lanterns. There are no roaring engines here in the heart of the UNESCO-protected Old Town, only the rhythmic click of bicycle wheels on cobblestones and the soft, rhythmic lap of the Thu Bon River against the ancient wooden docks. The architecture tells a story of a world without borders, a fusion of cultures that has remained harmoniously intact for centuries. The Japanese covered bridge stands as a pink-hued sentinel of the past, while the ornate Chinese assembly halls smell of thick sandalwood incense and the weight of collective memory. Inside the dark timbered merchant houses, the air is cool and still, echoing with the footsteps of those who traded silk and spice 300 years ago. As darkness falls, the town undergoes a spiritual transformation. The river becomes a liquid mirror for the stars as hundreds of paper lanterns, each carrying a flickering candle and a silent wish, are set adrift upon the black water by locals and travelers alike. The warm glow reflects off the dark wood of the riverside buildings, casting long, dancing shadows that make it easy to believe the 17th century never truly ended. Hoi An does not ask you to explore it, it asks you to slow down, to breathe in the scent of cinnamon and old timber, and to lose yourself in a timeless, amber-hued reverie. It is a place where history isn't found in a textbook, but in the flicker of a flame and the gentle curve of a yellow alleyway, proving that some beauties are too profound for time to ever touch. Ninh Binh is often called Ha Long Bay on land, but such a comparison misses the unique, grounded magic of this province. Here, the massive limestone karsts do not rise from the sea, but from a vibrant carpet of lime-green rice paddies and winding rivers. To experience Ninh Binh is to drift silently in a small wooden boat through the Trong An or Tam Kok valleys, the only sound being the rhythmic dip of oars into the water. The boatmen and women here often row with their feet, a graceful, effortless motion that perfectly mirrors the unhurried pace of the landscape. The journey takes you through low-hanging water caves where the ceiling of the rock is just inches from your head before emerging into hidden kingdoms, basins of still water surrounded on all sides by vertical stone walls. High above, wild goats cling to the cliffs, and white egrets fly low over the paddies. Rising from these plains is the Mua Cave viewpoint, where 500 stone steps lead to a dragon's perch overlooking the entire valley. From this height, the river looks like a golden serpent winding through the green fields. Ninh Binh represents the perfect balance of the four elements: stone, water, earth, and sky, all converging in a landscape that feels designed for contemplation. It is a place where nature is grand, yet intimate, inviting the traveler to lose themselves in the slow, liquid flow of the countryside. Tucked away in the central highlands, Dalat is the cool, mist-shrouded contrast to to the tropical heat of the lowlands. Established as a sanatorium for the French elite, it feels like a piece of the Alps transported to Southeast Asia. The architecture is a whimsical collection of colonial villas with red-tiled roofs, nestled among sprawling pine forests and valleys of flowers. In Dalat, the air is always fresh, and the light has a soft, diffused quality that makes the entire city look like it was photographed through a vintage lens. The city is centered around Swan Hung Lake, where swan-shaped pedal boats glide through the morning fog. But the true magic of Dalat lies in its outskirts, the Valley of Love, and the numerous waterfalls that tumble over volcanic rock. It is a city of agriculture, where the hillsides are covered in greenhouses that glow like lanterns at night, producing the roses, strawberries, and coffee that the region is famous for. There is a touch of the bizarre here, too, found in the surreal architecture of the Crazy House, which looks like a melting tree. Dalat is a sanctuary for artists, lovers, and those seeking a quiet moment of reflection. It is a city of soft edges and cool breezes, where the pace of life slows down to match the drifting of the clouds over the Lang Biang peaks. Ho Chi Minh City, still affectionately called Saigon by those who pace its streets, is a metropolis of pure, unadulterated velocity. It is the engine room of modern Vietnam, a sprawling urban giant where the skyscrapers reach for the stars and the street life hums with a relentless 24-hour electricity. Here, the future is arriving at breakneck speed. The Bitexco Financial Tower and the soaring Landmark 81 pierce the tropical clouds, their glass facades reflecting a city that is constantly tearing itself down to build something even more ambitious. Below these gleaming towers, the streets are a neon-lit river of millions of motorbikes, a chaotic but strangely synchronized flow of movement that represents the city's unstoppable drive and youthful spirit. Yet the true beauty of Saigon is found in the friction between its high-tech ambitions and its deep-rooted traditions. In the shadow of a luxury mall, you will find a colonial-era post office designed by Gustave Eiffel, its vaulted ceilings and antique maps echoing with a century of secrets. In the district of Chalan, the air in the ancient pagodas is so thick with the scent of spiral incense coils that it feels like a physical presence, offering a spiritual sanctuary just steps away from the frantic, high-stakes commerce of the markets. Saigon is a total sensory overload. The hiss of a street-side walk, the aromatic bitterness of iced coffee sipped on a tiny plastic stool, and the vibrant hidden graffiti of the narrow hem alleyways. It is a city that never sleeps because it is too busy dreaming of what comes next. It is the ultimate urban playground, a place where every winding back street is a shortcut to a different era, and every sunset over the Saigon River is a promise of even more energy tomorrow. To be in Ho Chi Minh City is to be at the center of the world's heartbeat, a place where the resilience of the past and the roar of the future collide in a spectacular, neon-drenched symphony of life. Hue is the dignified scholar of Vietnam, a city of poems, pagodas, and ghosts. As the former imperial capital, it carries an air of faded grandeur that is both melancholic and magnificent. The heart of the city is the Citadel, a massive fortress surrounded by a moat where lotus flowers bloom in the stagnant water. Inside the forbidden purple city, the weathered red lacquer and intricate gold leaf of the pavilions tell stories of the Nguyen emperors who once ruled from behind these walls. Even in its ruinous state, the architecture commands a hushed respect, its symmetry reflecting a cosmic order that has long since passed. Away from the palace, the Perfume River flows through the city like a slow-moving memory. Along its banks sit the royal tombs, elaborate stone complexes that serve as the final resting places of the kings. Each tomb is a reflection of the emperor's personality. Some are sprawling and romantic, integrated into the pine forests. Others are stern and imposing, built of dark stone. The beauty of Hoi is found in its details: the moss growing on a stone dragon, the scent of incense at Thien Pagoda, and the delicate royal cuisine that turns a simple meal into an art form. Hoi does not shout its importance, it reveals it slowly through the afternoon rain and the soft ringing of bells. It is a city that exists in the space between the present and the past, a place where the spirit of old Vietnam is most palpable. In Mui Ne, the tropics disappear, replaced by a landscape that feels like a hallucination. Here, the South China Sea meets a rolling desert of towering sand dunes, creating a geological anomaly that is as beautiful as it is unexpected. The white sand dunes are the crown jewel of this region, vast, undulating waves of pale sand that stretch toward the horizon. At sunrise, the dunes are a masterclass in light and shadow. The wind-swept ridges create sharp geometric lines that change with every gust. It is a place of profound stillness, where the only tracks are those of the wind or the occasional sand sledder. Nearby, the red sand dunes offer a warmer, fiery contrast, their ochre sands glowing intensely in the late afternoon sun. Between these deserts lies the Fairy Stream, a shallow brook that winds through a canyon of red and white clay pillars, looking like a miniature version of the Grand Canyon. The water is cool against your feet as you walk through the soft silt, flanked by green palms and jagged earth. Mui Ne is a place of elemental extremes, where the heat of the desert is tempered by the salt spray of the ocean. The nearby fishing village, with its hundreds of colorful, round basket boats bobbing in the bay, reminds you that despite the desert surroundings, the sea is the ultimate lifeblood of this strange and beautiful coast. In the high-altitude reaches of the Huang Lian San Mountains, the earth has been meticulously sculpted into a living, breathing staircase. The Sapa rice terraces are a monumental achievement of human patience and ancestral wisdom, where the Hmong, Dao, and Thai people have carved a sustainable life into a vertical world that would otherwise be impenetrable. Over centuries, these ethnic communities have transformed the steep mountain flanks into a series of cascading curves that follow the natural contours of the land. In the spring, during the falling water season, the terraces act as shimmering mirrors of the sky, flooded with mountain runoff that reflects every passing cloud and the silhouettes of the soaring peaks. By late summer, they transform into a boundless, undulating ocean of brilliant emerald, eventually deepening into a heavy, glowing gold as the harvest moon approaches. To walk these narrow, muddy paths is to witness a harmony between humanity and nature that is increasingly rare in the modern age. Mist often clings to the valley floor in thick, white blankets, leaving the higher ridges in their sculpted edges floating like celestial islands in a silent sea. The true sound of Sapa is not found in the bustle of the town, but in the distant melodic ring of water buffalo bells and the rhythmic splashing of water through hand-built bamboo irrigation pipes. The air here is thin and sharp, carrying the earthy scent of wet clay and the faint, sweet aroma of wood smoke drifting from stilt houses tucked into the hillsides. As the sun strikes the ridges, the shadows of the terraces create a mesmerizing geometric play, highlighting the staggering physical labor required to maintain these hanging gardens across the generations. Sapa reminds the traveler that true beauty is often the result of a long, quiet conversation between a culture and its environment. It is a place where the clouds are low enough to touch and the hills are etched with the deep, enduring fingerprints of a people who have mastered the art of living in the sky. It is the ultimate testament to the timeless beauty of the Northern Highlands.